This is Serena. I'm Patty, and it is March 23rd? 4th, right? 24th. Thursday, March 24th, and it's about 5 o'clock. All right, how are you? How was your week?
It was good.
Good. How are the pretzels? You can eat some of those. You said you were hungry. So while you're eating and drinking for a minute, I'll tell you, I went to this thing last night, and it was called Read to Grow. It was a fundraiser. And it was about this group, and they bring books to moms in the hospital for their babies. Isn't that cool? So all over the state, and you didn't even hear about it, but it was at Kira's house. It was really cool.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, so it was a fundraiser, and they give away hundreds of thousands of books every year. And they go to Hartford Hospital, New Haven, Bridgeport, and then all over the place. So pretty cool. Go ahead, pour your All right, let's start with our game. You ready? Okay, so one thing I was looking at, so these were all the times we were doing them together, right? And we were pretty good. And then look at, a little over a month now, you've been going solo, and you've been improving. So that's good. And last week you dipped a little bit, not much. So pretty fabulous, right? I don't even know that we've always improved. Yeah, we have improved. So we're getting better at this super fun. All right, you ready? I'm gonna set the timer. Do you have any preference for where we go? Remember where we were last week?
Yeah, I think we're there.
About here. Okay. So I'm gonna we'll do it together first, and then we'll do it separately. All right, let's see if we can get this. This is different than my phone. All right, ready? You're starting. Go.
Tree.
Under.
Read.
Why?
On.
Bound.
Watch.
Cold.
Hot.
Because.
Down.
Live.
Draw.
Earth.
I.
Clean.
Grow.
Thought.
Head.
Best.
Story.
Upon.
Clean.
Sing.
Car.
Left.
Together.
Please.
You.
Dizzle.
Wild.
Along.
Might.
Close.
Think.
Wish.
Sing.
Man.
Shall.
Hard.
Laugh.
Example.
Again.
Life.
Paper.
Group.
Often.
Important.
Until.
Side.
Feet.
Dwarf.
Cows.
It's.
Or.
Being.
Your.
Being.
Sun.
Questions.
Fish.
Dog.
Mark.
Horse.
Birds.
Area.
Room.
Door.
Ship.
Table.
Farm.
Ground.
Town.
Wood.
Road.
Box.
Guns.
Stars.
Street.
Building.
Red.
Black.
Green.
Wheels.
Ocean.
Island.
Field.
Fire.
Wave.
Wind.
Rock.
Space.
However.
Low.
Hours.
Complete.
Correct.
Happen.
Whole.
Measure.
Remember.
Early.
Turn.
Short.
Better.
Best.
Listen.
All right. Good job. So where were you? You're going to count them for me? Okay, let's see. I think it's a world record. Oh my gosh, almost. Well, I'm 3-3. We got 107, but still pretty good. All right, 3, 4. What'd you say, 105?
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that you are not using your finger. I don't know if that helps or not, but sometimes it does. But we're pretty fabulous. There you go. I also think I got the 2 made-up words. That was lucky for you, huh? Dwarf and Dizzle or whatever. All right, let's see. Where were we? Here we are. All right, you want to, you ready to go solo? Or you want one more warm-up with me?
I can do a solo.
I think you're good, yeah. I think we should give it to you at the top of the page so you don't have to turn the page and really go for broke here. Okay. All right, let me set it up here. Hold on. All right. Ready, set, go.
For decided, contain, course, surface, produce, order, sure, class, note, nothing, rest, carefully, scientist, inside, become, stop, stay, top, known, problem, last machine, base, ago, stood, zinky, dookie, plate,
Yeah.
to some behind, ran, round, boat, force, brought, understand, warm, common, bring, explain, try, though, language, shape, deep, against American, year, equation, yet, government, filled, heat, full, hot, check, object, and rule, among, noun, tower, cannot, able, six, size, dark, ball, material, special, heavy, fine, pair, circle, include, built, click, waddle.
Alright, good job.
That was really slow. I heard 77.
That's alright. We can do one more. You wanna try and beat yourself? Alright, 77 versus Serena. Let's go back. Keep going on that page, or we can go to another page. Let's go here. But a couple words I wanted to look at though. So, were there any words you felt you didn't know, definition-wise, or did they all seem pretty familiar?
I think they were pretty familiar.
They were pretty familiar, that's good. There's one, I can't find the word. Where is it? Okay, I don't need to. It's not in here. No. Alright, let's see. Wow, Düsseldorf, okay. So this word is kind of an interesting one because it has two different meanings, right? So read that word for me.
Produce.
Produce, right, good. And so what does it mean if you produce something?
It's like make or like give or something.
Good, yeah, make it happen, right, to produce something. And what about produce? Like if you're in the grocery store, what's produce? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, but
Isn't it funny? Because when you said it, you said, I heard it that way. And it's because you're reading the word out of context, right? But it's like produce is like the fruits and vegetables, right? That kind of stuff. This one too, can you read that one for me again?
America.
Right, because at first you said, do you remember what you said?
I said America.
Yeah, you said American, you put an N at the end, so that's just kind of paying attention, right? Okay. Alright, you ready to beat your own score?
Yeah.
One more time? And if you don't, it's okay, because remember there are different words. The main thing is to kind of feel comfortable reading that piece. Alright, so you want to start here and turn the page, or you want to go to a new page? So I can
Start here.
Okay, you're good. Alright. Reset it. Alright. On your mark. Where are you starting at?
Here.
Right there, camp. Okay, good. And then you have the page ready in case hopefully you will go to the next one. Alright, ready? Take it away.
Can matter squares. Syllables, perhaps build, felt, suddenly, test, direction, center, farms, writing, anything, divided, general, energy, subject, Europe, moon, region, return, believe, dance, number, pick, simple, cells, paint, mind, love, class, rain, exercise, eggs, train, blue, with, wish, kizzy, witty, drop, develop, window, difference, distance, heart, sit, some, summer, wall, forest, probably, task, flex, sat, main, winter, why, written, length, reason, kept, intercept, interest, brother, race, present, beautiful, store, job, edge, pass, sign, record, finish.
Alright, there we go. Let's count those up.
Oh, I heard lower, 74.
Did you think those ones are harder or easier than the other ones?
Harder.
Yeah, that might be why. Yeah, you were on your game right there, but that's okay. You're still doing good. You're doing really well. And look at, Kiswitty is kind of a funky word, right? And Taz, they put those in. Why do you think they put those words in? We haven't really talked about that much.
So maybe slow you down.
Slow you down and make your brain do what?
To like get confused. Maybe.
Yeah, but think about what your brain had to do to say it. It had to kind of
like.
Remember we've talked about
break
this.
It down.
Yeah, break it down, chunk it out, right? There was one other word in this section that it was the word this word. How do you say that word? Present or present, right? So it's the same. It could be if it's present. If I present something, what am I doing?
Like showing.
Yep. And then it's a verb. And if I give you a present,
like you're giving something.
It's a gift, right? And so that's a noun, the present, the thing, right? Okay, cool. All right, so that's good. Well, we can eat it again next week. I think you'll be back. You said you didn't feel that good, so are you getting enough to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so remember last week we looked at these multisyllabic words, right? And these were the ones, and I think the word syllable was one of your words that you had to read. Interest kind of tripped you up a little. I wonder why. 'Cause that's a word you know, but you just got there and I don't know, for some reason it was a harder word today. So these words are the 4-syllable ones because last week we looked at 3-syllable and you were rocking those. You did really well. So do you remember these words that we looked at? And we talked about looking at the way they're broken, like how to pronounce them by breaking them down. Like can you say that one for me?
Precipitation.
Now do you remember what it means?
I know.
It's supposed to maybe do it tomorrow weather-wise. Precipitation is like rain and water and stuff like that. So that's how you often hear it. It's not like you use it all that much, but you will hear it. So we didn't do these columns, so let's do those and see how you do. Finish your pretzel, that's fine. You can take a drink of your water too.
Okay, absolutely. Engineering, comfortable, alligator, cooperate, electrical, conservation, original, political, geometry, revolutionary,
Good job.
traditional, capability, numerator, biology, considerance, Cohen.
No, it's okay. Keep going. We'll go back to it. Yeah. So you can chunk that one out like you've done.
Trigonometry.
Yeah, that's a tricky word. So we'll go back to that one too. Keep going.
Coordinate. Operator. Kilometer.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, we'll do one more thing and then we'll talk about those kind of little funny ones in there.
Circulator.
Okay. It's okay.
Wait. Let me try that one again.
Yeah, you correct.
Circulator.
You're really close.
Circulator.
Yep, but look at the letter at the end. Look at that connection. So what's that sound is that gonna make?
Circulatory.
Very close. Let's do it together. You got that?
Circulate.
La. And how would you say that word?
Circulatory.
Yeah, so now put it all together.
Circulatory.
Well, what word is this? Is it lay or law?
Law.
Okay, so now read it together.
Circulatory.
You know, you had that one right before.
Circulatory.
Circulatory. Any idea what it means? Circulatory. What does it sound like?
Like around, going around.
Okay, going around. So you have a circulatory system in your body, and it's like how the blood goes all around. It's right now it's pumping through everything. That's one. But you know that this word circle in here has something to do with it, and you got that. Cool. Let's keep going.
Miserable.
Okay. Let's chunk it.
Miserable.
Good. Miserable. Way to self-correct. Awesome. All right. What about this one?
Peripheral.
Very close. Peripheral. Do you know what have you heard that word before?
Yeah. I don't know what it means.
No, that's okay. So peripheral is the peri, like that, you know, like a periscope or something, right? And a submarine could come up and look around. So your peripheral vision is over here. And so horses, like, you know how they put those things on the side? Have you ever seen that of a horse? And they have those little things on the side. It's because their peripheral vision really, I don't know, I've never, done a lot of horse research, but I think it makes them very distracted and startled if they see things. So their peripheral vision. So that's why your peripheral vision is like all around. So horses, that's why they have that. All right, let's keep going. All right, so let's chunk it. Well,
Renewable.
Renewable. So if something is renewable, what does it do?
Like, you can like get it again, like.
Yeah.
Like. I don't know how to describe it.
Have you heard of renewable energy? Yeah, so renewable energy is something like solar energy, right? Like it can keep making more energy because the sun will shine tomorrow, we hope, and the next day, and the next day. So, all right, keep going.
Concentrated.
Good.
Natural. I know that word.
You know that word, yeah.
I know it.
You're nervous because there's the camera on you. What's this one? You know that.
I know it. Naturally.
Good.
Yes, I knew it. Oh no. Machine.
Well, you're thinking in the right frame of mind, but this is a hard sound, okay? So it's one that breaks the rules. So unlike change, which is soft, that's so can.
Mechanical.
Good.
Population.
That one. Good. Easy one.
Education.
Good. Easy.
Constitution.
Slower, because you know that word.
Concentration.
You're probably studying it this year. In 8th grade.
Constitution.
Good. All right.
Authority.
Good.
Approximate.
Yep.
Literature.
You know that one. Yep.
Dominating.
Probably from math, you might know this one. So,
Denominator.
yep. Good job.
Multiplier.
2 words, right?
Semicircle.
Good job.
Rectangle.
Say it again.
Rectangular.
Good job.
Determination. Graduation. Congratulations.
Good job. All right, so let's go back to these ones. This one was harder, wasn't it? This row, yeah. But over here, so I think you said capability, and it's capability for some reason. Okay, so how about this one? Now this is a hard word, and I'm trying to think of the easiest way.
Descendants.
No, so you're thinking of other words that you know, but let's just break it down. Let me break it down for you and then read it this way. All right, and this is soft, see? Okay, so try that one now. Chunk it.
Conceive.
Well, read it out. How would you read C-O? Good. How would you read that? In. Co-in. Soft C. So co-in. So now, put it all together.
Coincidence.
Good. What's a coincidence? You've heard that word, right?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to say it.
Can you use it in a sentence for me?
It was a it was a coincidence that we had like the same answers, like.
Okay. Yeah. It was a coincidence that I met your mom. and we started talking, and then we found out that you would like to do some of this, and I needed this, right? So that's a coincidence. And like a kind of, I don't want to call it magical happening, but like something that comes together in a good way. So it's like, well, I think it's often good, but yeah, so. All right, trigonometry, that's a math term, right? And you got all these right here. And then you self-corrected kilometer. Sometimes that happens. You look at a word and you want to say it one way, and then you're like, wait, my brain knows that word, and then you self-correct it. And I've noticed you do that. That's really good. All right, we're going to read a story in a few. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do one more of these. Let's do this, and then I have to keep my eye on the clock here. All right, we do these pretty much. Well, we do these often, so. And this, I believe, is the last one because we've used them all. So, all right, you ready to read for me? This is a story about Roberto. I want you to read the story to me. You'll have 1 minute to read as much as you can. When I say begin, start reading aloud at the top of the page. Do your best reading. If you have trouble with a word, I'll tell it to you. Do you have any questions? No, because we do it every week. Okay. Are you ready? Go.
Roberto really wanted a summer job. His family didn't have a lot of extra money, and he wanted to earn some cash to spend at the arcade and snack shop with his buddies. The problem was that he was only 13. That was too young to get a work permit for a regular job, so Roberto decided to start his own business. He put up flyers around the town offering to do odd jobs such as mowing lawns and tutoring younger kids. Before long, Roberto had more jobs than he could handle. Apparently, the community was really in need of service like this. Roberto spent his mornings mowing lawns and doing other yard work. In the afternoons, he helped little kids with their reading and mathematics.
All right, good. How do you feel reading that?
Better, yes.
Pretty good. You want to finish it for us? Just so we know what happens.
Pretty soon, all the neighbors were bragging about their hometown self-made businessman. His parents were incredibly proud of him, and the money was rolling in. But Roberto didn't even have time to spend it. Besides, he missed seeing his friends. He didn't want to give up his job, but he longed for some.
Yeah, that's a tough one, right?
Leisure time.
Yeah, good. Say it. Say it proud.
Leisure.
Good. Perfect. What's
Time.
leisure?
Like more or something.
Leisure. Leisure time. He longed for leisure time. Do I long for work time or do I long for leisure time? When you long for something, what does that mean?
Like want.
Yeah. So would I long for more work time or would I long for more leisure time?
Leisure.
So what do you think that means?
Like to relax or
Yes,
something.
right. So in West Hartford, this town, they have leisure services and it's all kinds of things that you could do, like go to yoga class or take a baking class, and because it's things that you would do in your free time. So leisure time is more free time. All right, so let's hear what he's doing here.
Leisure time to spend at the arcade and snack shop. Meanwhile, Roberto's friends were running out of their spending money because all they did was spend time playing video games and buying pizza and sodas. One morning, as he was finishing up his dirt lawn mowing job for the day, Roberto had a brilliant idea. His friends could take over some of his jobs. Then we could all have time and money to spend together.
Get this word right here.
And they would all have time and money to spend together. Roberto and his friends put a plan into effect immediately. And soon they all divided their time between working and hanging out. The lawns all across town had never looked better. The younger children were mastering math and reading, and Roberto and his friends knew they were making a difference.
Alright. So, here's what I want to tell you before I ask you to tell me a little bit about the story. You know how you were feeling a little bit low about this? You read the most you've ever read on one of these. Awesome! Right? And so, maybe you were just saving it all up for this, right? Good job. Alright, what's going on with Roberto here?
He doesn't have enough money to go to the arcade.
Well,
Or
let's look at it again, because it's always good to skim again. He didn't initially, you're right.
Have a lot of extra money.
Right, and so what did he decide to do?
He decided to like have like a job, to get a job, but he was too young. So then
Excellent.
he started mowing lawns and tutoring
Mhm.
people, little kids,
Mhm.
and then he missed his friends, and he was tired and he wanted to relax. So then he said that his friends could like do it too and earn money.
Right, because what was happening to his friends while they were
They
having
were like-
leisure time?
They were spending all their money that they didn't have anymore.
Yeah. So, it all works out pretty well, huh? How about you? Do you babysit or do anything like that? Have you started making any kind of money yet?
Actually, I read to my cousin every day because she's like really young. So I read to her every day a book, and then I get money.
That's awesome. That's like the thing I went to last night. They were talking about reading to people and how old is your cousin?
5
See? That's
or 6.
Yeah.
I think she's 6.
Well,
Yeah.
she'll be 6 eventually, right? So you get money for that. So that's a little job that you have. How about babysitting? You babysit?
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah, that's what they do in this house. Sometimes, but it seems like Emily gets more of the jobs than Mira, so she's always broke. But she just had her birthday, so she's happy about that. All right, good job. Excellent. All right, let's do our word list here. Our word bunch, right? And then, you ready to do these? Oh, the pretzel's helping? Good.
Wiley.
Mm-hmm. Read it louder. Loud. You can flip it that way if you want. All right, what's the difference of those two?
Taking and talking.
Yep.
The talking has an L in it.
Mm-hmm. Even though you don't hear it, right?
Incident.
What's an incident?
Like something that happens. Like
Yep. Perfect.
ringing.
All right, why do we write this one down in our list?
Raging.
Raging, right? So but that's also, I think last, or whenever we wrote this, you might have said ragging. So ragging would have 2 G's. It's not really a word you hear that much, but raging. So good job.
Activism.
All right, chunk it out. Can you read my handwriting? Yeah, act.
Activist.
Good job. Do you remember what an activist is? This was from one of our New Sala articles, right?
I remember.
All right. Do you remember Beyonce, that one we read about
Oh, yeah.
Beyonce? How could she be seen as an activist after that article that we read? I know it was, I think it was,
I forgot.
was it 2 weeks ago we read the Beyonce article? I think so. What did she do at the Super Bowl?
She dancing song.
She danced. And do you remember why there was a controversy?
Oh, cause they didn't like they make an X or something.
Yes. And do you remember who that was? We looked up who the people were.
Michael.
You're close. Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
And he was a black activist, right? Okay. Remember, you know Martin Luther King. Everyone knows Martin Luther King. Do you remember Malcolm X, how he was different than Martin Luther King?
Oh, I forgot.
Martin Luther King was completely nonviolent, and Malcolm X sometimes felt that activism might involve people getting hurt to make a point. So, I mean, not that he went out to do that, but he was not as concerned as Martin Luther King with it all being nonviolence. So, Beyonce, in a way, she was being an activist because she was making a statement about Black Lives Matter. Remember, that was an article. Okay, good.
Wait, is this a V or R?
Yeah, that's my bad handwriting. That's an R.
Okay. But solitude.
So it's
Brutality.
brute. Yeah, good job. You've heard that word. What's brutality? Somebody is brutal.
Like meaning.
Yeah, right.
Property.
Good,
Particular.
good. Ah, the dreaded.
Psychology. Physical.
No, you were right the first time.
Psychological.
Good job. That's why that P is crossed out. But this is how you're always going to see the word written. So you have to remember. And psychology is the same, and psychology, psychological. All right, keep going.
Sweet.
Which one's which? Like which? So sweet is candy and sweat is, you take
Ought.
Good.
Convenient.
Good.
Confident.
Good.
Nutritional.
Mm-hmm.
Formulate.
Mm-hmm. What's formulate again?
To find something.
Yeah, it's me.
Compactly.
All right, you remember that one? All right, remember the trick or the what's a trash compactor do?
Take off like the good stuff.
Yeah. So some people have them in their houses, like they'll have it and it'll squish all the garbage. But trash compactors are like at the, when they come and take your trash and then sometimes they just take it up, but they'll smush it first. The truck, have you ever seen the truck, how it pushes down? It's compacting it. So compactly, like a compact car is a small car. So what do you think compactly means?
Like to squish something.
Yeah.
Like.
And I don't know if you've learned this at school. My students are not always good at remembering what these are, but ly is an adverb, so that would describe a verb. So more than you want to know about grammar, I'm sure. All right, keep going.
Equivalent.
Good. What's equivalent again?
Like equal.
Yep.
Like, representative.
Good.
Improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Neighborhood. Martian.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy. Minion. Criticize.
Good.
Electives.
Mm-hmm.
Variety. Pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Certain. Imitate. Dessert.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, so what's the difference between
Dictator.
dessert and desert? Give me my trick.
That dessert has to best
Because you always want,
second.
yeah, good job.
Dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
Probable.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Swayed.
What's it used for?
I don't know. Wait,
No, you don't have
oh,
one.
shoes?
Yeah, suede shoes, remember? That was, I think, in the thing we read.
Yeah.
That was in,
Furnished.
oh, thank you, ma'am. Remember that story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Furnished, good. What's this one?
Reluctant.
So what's reluctant mean?
Oh, I forgot. Like held back, maybe?
Yeah, well, right, if you're reluctant, you might hold yourself back, like you hesitate. So so I was reluctant to go bungee jumping, right? Because it's scary. So you're reluctant, and then you would hesitate in that process. You can be a reluctant skydiver. You could even be a reluctant swimmer. You don't want to go. Does that make sense? How can you remember that word? Because it's a good word, and you've seen it now a number of times, and we need to get it to stick a little better.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, well, why don't you come up with a trick for that? Not at this moment, but the next week.
Diversify.
Good.
Consumer.
What's a consumer? Well, what word is in here? What word is that?
Consume.
So if I consume something, have you heard that?
Take it in. Like,
Yeah. So what do you think a consumer is?
take something.
Yeah, and they're a person who buys something. You're a consumer and I'm a consumer, right? I bought that seltzer, right? All that stuff. So good.
Idly.
All right. So I gave you my trick there, but this is just
Aisle.
yes. So where do you see that word? Where do you see the word? Where do you see aisles?
Oh, in like a store.
In a store. Where else? Give me all the places.
Well, in a store, like,
I don't know if you've gone to see. Did you go to see the new movie, Divergent. What is the new one?
I'm gonna go see Allegiant.
Allegiant. So where would you go? You'd go to see it, and what do they have at the movie theaters? They have aisles. What about in school? You have aisles sometimes between the rows?
Yeah.
Depends on whether you have rows in your classroom or not, I guess. Right? All right. So what time are we at? 5:38. Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hold off on this story, and we'll read this one next week when you come. But this was something I found that I thought was kind of fun. And it's kind of like, it was interesting because your mom brought up vocabularies today while we were outside talking. And there are these words, and I want you to think about them. Just guess without the context. So before you read, we'll cover this up. Before you read the sentences that they give you, and these are funny words. Like, these are not words that I use a lot, but let's see if you can think of any of the meanings of any of this. Like, so this is thinking without context. So, all right, we'll read that word again. Is it glooming or gloaming? Good job. Any idea what that means? You can put a question mark if you don't know, or you can give it a thought.
Wait, so if I do write it in here?
No, because we're gonna look at the sentences, and then you're gonna think about it after, because it's gonna help you. The sentences are very helpful. I'll tell you that. So if you don't know it, that's fine, because I knew it, but I'm a lot older than you, but I didn't know one of the other ones at all. So, all right. How about read that one? Try and chunk it out.
Glor.
All right, you're close, but look at, so, glor, and then what about that? Glorial. Okay, so what does that sound like?
Glory.
Yeah, so I would write glory, right?
Sorry.
Yep. All right, try and say that one.
Glossiness.
Okay, very close. Yeah, I think it might be glossitis, I don't know, but you definitely got gloss, and then we know if it's itis. Do you think it's itis or itis?
It is. Itis.
Itis. Good. Okay. So any idea? Glossitis. What words have itis at the end?
Bronchitis.
Huh?
Bronchitis.
Okay, bronchitis. So what kind of words? That's excellent. No, that's really good. So what does that imply? If you have bronchitis, what does that mean?
Something like a sickness.
Yes. So sickness. Good job. That's brilliant. All right.
Gloxinia.
Gloxinia. Gloxinia. What do you think that sounds like? Anything?
No.
Put a question mark. All right. Now let's see if we can figure it out from here. All right. Read that sentence for me after you finish your pretzel.
Even though it's not completely dark, you should turn the headlights off your car on during.
Wait. Read that word again. Start it all over again.
Even though it's not completely dark, you should turn the headlights on. Turn your headlights off your car.
What word is this? I know that word.
Of your car.
One more time. This is a charm. Third time. Let's go.
Even though it's not completely dark, you should turn the headlights off of your car on during your glitch.
Okay, so now let's go with the context here. Let's try and figure this word out. Even though it's not completely dark, you should turn the headlights of your car. What are you turning them? On during the gloaming. Okay, so even though it's not completely dark, they're giving you some really important information there. You should turn the headlights of your car on during the gloaming. What do you think?
The morning. Like.
Even though it's not completely dark.
Oh, like in the middle of the day,
Well, even though it's not completely dark. When is it not completely dark?
Like sundown.
Yes, good. All right. Even though it's not completely dark, you should turn the headlights of your car on during the gloaming. So what time do you think gloaming is? Or what do you think gloaming means? Yeah, I should have asked you physical time. No. So what do you think gloaming looks like?
Like
whoa, excuse me, puppy. When do cars start to turn their headlights on?
in the night.
but even though it's not completely dark, and then they're telling you the glowing. You had it before. What time do you think it is?
6.
Well, no, you said sundown. You said
Oh,
sundown.
yeah.
So write sundown in there, and we'll look up the answers in a minute. Yeah, sit, you just leave this on. Sit. She wants her dinner. All right, let's look at this one.
Angel had a glory.
Say that word. You said it correctly. Remember how do you break it down?
Gloral.
Glor.
Gloral.
How do you say this part right here? I know the writing's not. I should have learned it.
Glorial.
Gloriole. Good. The angel had a gloriole above her head. That's pretty good. You can figure that out. What do you think it is?
Oops. Like
Don't worry about it.
I don't know
What do
like
angels
those
have?
things.
Yeah. What's it called? Starts with an H.
Oh, I know it.
Like I have one. Ah.
The
It's also something that you can use to charge your phone. Like they made a product and they called it that. I don't know why they call it that. But angels have the round little things above their head.
Halo.
Halo. All right. Write halo in there, right? Because that's what it sounds like, right? It's a fancy word. What word would you use? Gloriole or halo? You would use either one because you're going to remember halo. But you would use halo. I would use halo too. I can't say I've ever used. Wait. Where's this one going? Why'd you put it with Gloxinia?
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Ready for this one?
With a swollen tongue.
Okay.
Swollen tongue.
Good job.
Like that, he must have glossitis.
All right, but remember, how did we say that at the end? Remember, because you said bronchitis. Right. So how are you going to say this word? Glossitis. Good. So, what do you think glossitis is based on that sentence? Because they kind of tell you in the beginning. Read the beginning of the sentence, okay?
With a swollen tongue, like when you're sick.
Yeah, but what's glossitis?
When your tongue's swollen.
Yeah. So, we'll write that in there.
So
Sounds pretty yucky, right?
Just say swollen tongue.
Swollen tongue. I had a student once, and he got his tongue pierced, and it got all swollen, and then he couldn't talk very much, which was kind of okay, because he talked a lot. He was very proud of his tongue piercing. All right, ready? Last one.
Gloxinia means Imelda.
No, sorry, sentence. Just read the sentence.
Oh!
Yeah.
Imelda
Imelda. It's a girl's name.
planted 3 gloxinias in a pig pot in her apartment.
All right. That's pretty
No
helpful.
idea.
Yes, you do. What do you mean? You're being silly. You're tired. All right, let's do it again.
In her.
Look for your clue words, though.
Oh.
Read the sentence again. You can figure this out.
Oh, I said. Okay, never mind.
You know what it is. All right, go ahead.
Imelda.
Yeah, Imelda. It's just her name. You can put Serena in there. It
planted
doesn't matter.
3 gloxinias in a pig pot. Oh, what did I say? Pig. Big pot in her apartment.
So
like
what's-
food.
What would you plant in a big
Oh,
pot?
plant. Plants. Like
Yeah. So Gloxinia is a plant, and in fact, I looked that one up. Well, I looked up actually inflammation of the tongue too, but Gloxinia is it's a tropical American plant. Glossitis is inflammation of the tongue, just like they told you, and gloriole is a halite, and then the glowing. In the glowing, I think there's a poem called "In the Glowing" or a song or something, because that's how I learned that word. So which is easier, looking at these words all by themselves or looking at them in the sentence? To know the meaning. This isn't a trick question. Which one was easier to figure out? Look at how many you got. You got them all right.
these 2.
Oh, you mean, okay, sorry. I was saying which way was it easier to do? Without context or with context? It was easier with the sentences, right? These 2 were the harder ones, but look at how well you did just figuring out. How did you figure those out? Do you remember what you did to those 2 words to get at the general idea?
I think I thought of words that like could have fit into the word.
Yeah, that sounded like them. Or you looked at the end of this, and you looked at the beginning of that. So if you think of gloriole, right? Gloriole. What are other words that have GL?
Oh,
You
glory.
had glory, good. What else? Can you think of any other?
Glorify.
Glorify, awesome.
Glow.
Okay, glow, that could work for sure. What about glide?
Glide.
Which one?
Glide.
Glide, I think we're gliding away from the meaning there. I don't think so. What about glorification?
Oh, I just like that matches this, or like.
Yeah, no, that matches
Or just
glorial. What about glorification? Have you heard that word? That's the noun form of it, so the glorification.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got itis, you got that. Gloxinia and gloaming, I thought those were pretty hard ones. I think you were right on there. All right, good. All right, good job. So oh, your mom's here. What I want you to do is I want you to think about that when you're coming across words. So last week when you did that internment camp work, some of those words were really hard, and I wrote about them. Even like I wrote the words down. What were some of the words that do you remember? Let me look really quickly. We'll get you to your mom, but the words. Let's see now if we look at them kind of doing that trick, if it would be better. If you would have had more luck. So genetics. Remember that word last week?
Mm-hmm.
Or generations. Okay, like those are connected, right? That you have that genetics generations. Another one was relocation. What word is in relocation?
Relocate.
Yeah, awesome. So let's see. The other thing last week that I was looking at when I was going through my notes, accept and accept. Do you remember those? Let's go through those really quickly before we send you out to your mom. Which one's which?
Accept and accept.
Mm-hmm.
Accept and accept.
So which one's which? 'Cause last week they tricked you up.
Accept
Mm-hmm.
means like to like take, like you can take it, like
Think.
oh that you won't take it.
All right.
I don't know.
If I accept a gift, I'm going to use that one.
They'll take it.
So then I'm accepting a gift, right? Or I'm accepting your generosity. But if I took everything on the plate except for the one cookie, how am I using that word?
Like you don't want that.
Yeah, excluding it, right? So you know the word exclude? If somebody excludes somebody at school, what do they do?
Like not talk to them.
Yeah.
Like
Right, they kick them out, they keep them, everything except you, right? So you've got accept, exclude, an ex-wife would be the one that you don't have anymore, right? Or, can you think of any other ones? I mean, there are a lot of words that you have that. So when you see that X, that's away from, like not, and then you see this one, and it's what?
Take.
To take. You gotta get that. You gotta get a trick for that. I have my tricks, but I don't know. The only trick I have for this is that X means not, like to keep out of. Exclude, accept. Where's acceptance? Good. You good? You tired? All right. Do you have your fresh start thing that you did for me?
Oh, yeah.
Can I have that? Thank you. And then I'll look at that, and then next week we can go over those answers and we'll see how you did. It was a pretty good story. Did you like it?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that? What do you think happens with the dad and Emily, the horse trainer lady? Do you think they like each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was cute. It made Jill feel better, right? I was kind of sad though, the story too.
Yeah.
I died in a car accident. Yeah. So, all right, awesome. Okay, turn this off. We'll go out to your mom. Hopefully, you know what I realized?